So hello and welcome to another video. This is Glenn, and in today's video we're looking at the earliest coins of the Argentine currency that actually called the Peso Moneda Nacional. So the national peso money, something like that. Peso national money. And this was introduced in 1881. It replaced the peso for tear, and it was in turn replaced in 1970. Basically, it actually suffered from inflation. And there is a fun fact: Argentina actually got rid of silver coinage in 1896. And well, this is one of the non-positive sides of actually removing silver, is that Argentina, along with economic policies that have been pretty bad, have caused it to suffer from inflation. But when you compare that to Denmark, so use the Danish krone, Denmark and Norway actually got rid of silver in 1920, so about 20 years later, roughly 25 years, something like that. And their currencies have actually been quite stable because their economic policies have been quite good. But the currency of Argentina, so this is actually the second decimal currency. Before that, the peso fuerte, 1826, 1881. It's also 1 peso equals 100 centavos. But those coins are actually not that common. And this currency was first introduced with the 1 centavos. So here we actually have a large 2 centavos. And this was based on the Latin Monetary Union. So basically, this is the first unified currency of Argentina. Before that, they actually had coins issued by the different states, as well as the federal coinage and the Buenos Aires. Now, I don't have any of those to show you, but this is actually one of the earliest ones. So this is a 2 centavos, dos centavos. This is equivalent to 10 centimeters of France, and it's 10 grams. Quite a large coin. It's actually the size of a penny. So here I have a penny, maybe a little bit smaller, 1964. And this one actually has the coat of arms on one side, and it has liberty. So as you can see, it has libertad at the top. And this one is actually designed by Eugene Andre Ordin. So it has his initials underneath the actual image, Ordin. So it's actually, I actually quite like this coin. Now the 1 centavos is 5 grams. It's also quite big for its actual value. This one is dated 1891, has a mintage of 8 million. So this is actually the highest minted coin of this. The 1882 is actually the year you want to get, with about 88,000. And that's actually the lowest minted coin. So this is actually the first issuance. Then we have the actual, this is the third. So the second issuance actually is similar to the last issuance. So, okay, let's, so the only difference between the second and the last is the date is usually replaced with Libertad. So on the second issuance, they don't have Liberty down there. Yeah, it's just the actual date. And also copper nickel coins. So they actually went back. So those large coins lasted until 1896. So 1896 is when they totally changed the currency. They removed the silver. But they would have actually, these coins would have still been in circulation up until about probably 1935. And then 1896 they replaced it with the copper and nickel coins. And in 1942 they replaced it with these aluminium bronze coins. So on this side you got some wheat, you got a cow, and you got liberty. So as you can see, This one is dated 1950. So these were minted up until 1950. When they actually replaced them with, I only have one coin of this series, and as you can see, just as pretty much just the denomination, and the Republic Argentina on the reverse side. So this is the San Martin series, and as you can see, it has San Martin. And these ones were copper nickel from 1950 to 54, and then they changed them to copper nickel plated steel, and then later on they changed them with the next series to nickel plated steel. So pretty much, or copper nickel plated steel. So pretty much the quality of the metal actually decreased from silver footy 10 and up, and bronze footy lower coins, to copper nickel plated steel or nickel plated steel. And that shows you that devaluation actually was a pretty bad thing. It's from the 1890s in Argentina. So then we have the next series, which is pretty boring. So you just have Liberty on one side, and you have the actual denomination on the other side. But these are actually not very hard to get. You should be able to pick most of these coins up for, I don't know, probably $1 or $2. That's not including the first and second series. We'll talk about the third to the fifth series. And the actual last coins are actually hyperinflation coins. So in 1957, inflation started to take off. And then they actually issued a 1 peso coin. So this is our nickel plated steel. So this is just the normal denomination. And this one is actually the commemorative denomination to commemorate the May Revolution. So the 150th anniversary of the May Revolution. So 25th of May, 1810. So this is a commemorative one for the independence of Argentina. And this 1 peso has Liberty. Yay, Liberty. So those were minted up until 1962. And then they actually stopped. In 1961, they actually issued a 5 peso. In 62, they issued a 10 pesos. And in 64, they issued a 25 pesos. And as you can see, these are actually nickel plated steel. They are not rounded coins. They're what they call the 12-sided dodecagonal, whatever. And as you can see, this one is actually dark, so the actual steel is actually being corroded. And well, maybe I'll turn the light on. Okay. So, and this coin has the Argentinian armada ship, Sarmiento frigate, Presidente Sarmiento. So that's a frigate. It's actually a museum piece now in one of the Argentine museums. You'll be able to look it up online. It's actually quite nice. Then we actually have the 10 pesos. So as you can see, Argentina has actually had an inflation problem quite a long period now. So the current coin is also a 10 pesos, issued in 2017, I believe. I reckon that will probably go up to 100 within a few years, 100 pesos. So, but this is not a new thing. So a lot of people are going, oh, the American dollar, the Australian dollar is going to be hyperinflated. Oh, wow. Yeah, well, a lot of countries have actually suffered that. I would say probably at least half the countries, or even 2/3 of the countries in the world, have suffered sometimes a massive devaluation of their actual currency. In Australia, we've only suffered a smaller devaluation. because over the long term, it doesn't really affect us. But if over 1 or 2 years you lose like 90% of the value of your currency, yeah, that's actually a big thing. And here we have on this side we have the statue El Recero depicting a man riding a horse. Wow, looks like Simpson and his donkey actually. This is also a 12-sided coin and no reading. And what I like is actually this 25 pesos coin. So this was the actual, just the standard denomination. So they actually issued commemorative coins, which actually were not as good as this. But this one commemorates the first national coinage. So we've got a coin on this side. So Provincias de Rio de la Plata. So Rio Plata coinage has the sun. He's on the actual flag. Números 25 pesos, so 25 pesos. So cinco is 5, 20 is 20. On the back, you can see it actually shows the reading as well. Look at that beautiful reading. This is why older coins are better. See, this one's got nothing on it. Nothing. This one is just intricately, beautifully designed. So this is an 8 reals coin. So you got 8 reals and Union de Libertad 1813. So that is why I like this actual coin. So all these were actually demonetized in 1970. Most of these coins, except for this one, you can pick up for $1 or $2. Good grade coins, probably up to $5. This one you're probably paying about $5 or $10 per coin in this condition. If you want to uncirculate, you'd be probably paying that close to $100, I reckon. That's what I've seen anyway. The silver coin's also quite expensive. And the first base metal coins from 1869 to 1940s. Probably the later ones, 30s, 40s, are easier to get than the 1896. But they're still nice coins to actually get. And to get an 8 reals coin, oh man, you're talking about $200-$300. Ooh, that one's going to be very expensive to get. And this one is 1964. How many coins were minted? 20 million. So this is probably the easiest date to actually get. And the 68 is actually the hardest. So it shows you a currency that actually has gone through an inflation period. And after this, Argentina actually issued a few other currencies. So this is actually the second decimal currency. Then they had the peso ley, 70 to 83, the peso argentina, 83, 85, the austral, 85 to 91, and the peso convertible, 92 to current. But the way inflation's gone in Argentina, they're going to replace that sooner or later. So that's only been 30 years. Wow, 30 years. That's a long time for Argentina to actually have a currency. Anyway, thank you very much for watching my video. I'll leave a link down below to Argentinian coins and banknotes on eBay in case you're interested in purchasing stuff. And have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time. Thank you and goodbye.